What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple H podcast, Happy Hour Hoops, presented by Trainwreck Sports. Steve, Jake, and myself talking all things NBA. And what a better way to start, guys, than LeBron debuting year 23 season last night. He came back, he got the double-double, didn't score 20, but LeBron looked like LeBron out there, and the Lakers are rolling, man. I mean, this was a welcome sight, obviously, if you're Lakers fans or just the Lakers in general, because when the news first came out about LeBron's sciatica, it was still all the, what's going on here? Is LeBron happy? Is this real? And then it was, how are they going to do? And they've been rolling, and now LeBron's back. So what say you guys about the Los Angeles Lakers?
Pains me to watch them play so well, man. It pains me to see this team firing on all cylinders. I mean, we kind of expected, Luka to have kind of the year he's having. Reeves was a little bit of a surprise. We talked on that, but I think the biggest one, and I know LeBron was back. He had a nice little double-double. It was great to see him play together. It seemed like they had good chemistry. But, guys, I got to apologize because DeAndre Ayton has really stepped up this year. 20 and 14. Last night, he's averaging near a double-double now. It just looks like he cares, which I think, the biggest question for me with the Lakers coming into this year was what's the care factor going to be of these guys? A lot of guys who like to, take plays off on defense. A lot of guys who, if things aren't going well, I don't want to say they pout, but, they go to the ref. And I'm talking about their two best players, and Bron and Luka. When it's not going well sometimes, they'll check out a little bit here and there. And we heard of all the kind of off-season, chemistry issues with this team. Now, granted, it's one game that LeBron's been back, but they looked like a well-oiled machine last night. They've looked great in LeBron's absence, and Ayton was the biggest surprise, and he looked great. He looked great again last night with everyone going. I mean, it's a good starting lineup. Bron, Luka, Rui, Ayton, and Reeves, and I got to be honest with you guys. Obviously, we know how great LeBron James and Luka Doncic are. Austin Reeves, I think, took a step up this year and is playing his best basketball that we've seen. I think Rui Hachimura is playing his best basketball that we've seen. And I also think DeAndre Ayton is playing some of his peak basketball that we've seen this season. So if you got those three guys kind of playing above the level of expectations we had, and then you mix in LeBron James and Luka Doncic, like two just, incredible playmakers that just make guys around them better, but in their own right are just going to take over a game at any moment. Even if I don't trust anyone on the bench, and there have been guys who've been stepping up on the bench, but even if I don't, man, that starting five, they gotta be taken seriously now. They have to be.
You got 22 assists coming from two guys. You're going to be a hard team to stop, man.
Right.
No matter who it is. And the fact that it's those two guys and the threat that they have. And we talked about it before with LeBron coming back. And I had sworn that I was like, you know what? I just think he's going to just try to find a way to fit where he can and not take up too much. And that's basically all he did last night. Now, I'm sure there's going to be games where he has more volume and he has more usage, and they're going to want to get him more involved. But why would you right now when Luka is doing what he's doing with the usage rate he's at? And it was really interesting to hear JJ Redick talk about LeBron after the game, because he talked about, we got him his touches where we want him to, in the paint, in the post, near the rim. And that's something we talked about, I think, for years about LeBron, where the evolution of LeBron as he's getting into old man Bron is get in the post and use that size and strength to your advantage and really develop that kind of post game and become a force there rather than being more of a perimeter player. And he's had to be a perimeter player in years past for the Lakers because he's had to be, one of the main ball handlers. He's, when he's out there with Reeves, he was able to kind of, let Reeves do some stuff, but they didn't have, it's not like, they had a great point guard going most of those years. And the AD and LeBron connection, the pick and roll, the pick and pop game that they were able to do was special for a couple years there. So having the ball in LeBron's hands behooved the Lakers to do that. Now it doesn't. And now the fit of this team that's where he fits best, is to just be in the post and initiating from there when he needs to initiate from there, or just being a piece and being able to move the ball from there. And I just thought it was really interesting that Redick mentioned that specifically after his first game of where he wanted to be, because clearly when they were game planning and training camp and everything else, with all the meetings that they probably had and closed door sessions together, probably some bottles of wine going and everything else. We've seen them do a podcast together. We know how they do this. It probably was JJ telling him, "Hey man, we don't need you out there anymore. Like we got two guys who are elite at the guard position who can handle everything out there. Like get down in the post, do it, and use your your passing ability and your elite vision from there, and it's going to be more effective." And did it end up in less shots for him? Yeah, like he's not going to have probably not going to have a lot of games with 15 to 20 shots this year if everything goes according to plan. But if he's efficient like he was, and he's dishing out of the post like that, and getting, like Dunny said, double doubles like that with an assist while Luka's on the floor, they're going to be a hard team to stop.
Yeah.
The ball is going to have energy no matter what, no matter who's on the floor. So kudos to him for just fitting in right where he needed to go. And even though it was Utah, I thought it was an encouraging sign for what they want to do offensively going forward.
Yeah, I like the nod of approval there from JJ too, Jake. That's a good point that you bring up, because one, I don't know how many coaches there are in the NBA who would be able to even articulate that idea of, having LeBron play that play style, and then also having the gall or the stones to say that to LeBron and be like, "Hey, this is where we need you. I know you're used to 22 years of being the guy, but we'd prefer if you play out of the post a little bit more this year," which obviously one game. So we'll see what happens down the stretch, but what a great problem for the Lakers to have, right? Just the greatest guy who's ever played the game. Yeah, we're getting him back, and he's healthy now. To a team that's already been, kind of killing it, as we mentioned here for quite a few minutes. But yeah, every week we come on the show since the season started, I'm a little bit more and more surprised by the Lakers and how good they look. And Steve, you mentioned it. I think we thought, yeah, this starting five could be good, but it's thin after that. But the bench players have been great to this point too. So it's tough to say a bad thing about the Lakers right now.
Yeah, I mean,
you're worried about re-injury with Braun, obviously, but like we said, they were all right without him.
And they're healthy right now too, right? This is kind of crazy because we're talking about a team that was kind of banged up last year when they tried to form it. You have a bunch of guys on this team that are known for being injury prone, and we have the Lakers at full strength right now. So who knows how long the full strength Lakers will last? You just got to sit back, watch and enjoy it. And I am, it was just one game, but I can't wait to see the chemistry with LeBron and Luka, kind of see what a off season was together year 1.5, I should say. Because if you remember on the Mavericks, it looked terrible with Kyrie and Luka, their chemistry that first half year, and then the very next season they're playing together. It looked like they've been playing together their whole lives. So give LeBron a couple games to get kind of fully accustomed back into basketball. It was encouraging to see him play 30 minutes last night. I didn't think he'd play that long in his first game back, but I am really, really excited to see what that chemistry looks like with LeBron and Luka. But if you're a Lakers fan, you can't ask for more, right? 22 assists combined out of LeBron and Luka in their first game together. I know Luka had a lot of turnovers, but he still scored 37. It feels like he's a threat to score 40 every night right now. Yeah, and the Lakers as a whole, Dunny, not just Luka, but as a whole, it just seems like they have higher energy on the defensive side, which I thought they were going to be sleepwalking all year.
I can tell you why.
Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Your guy. The Energizer buddy right there, right? Hey.
It's so sad how well he's fitting in with this Lakers team and how much everyone's embraced him. Like the Lakers main page posted this thing about how he's their defensive energy guy today. Like it's everything you love in Marcus Smart and why he makes a team better, but it's sad to watch him go to your rival and do it all. But it's working, and it's a big part of why they're working. Jake, I know you might already starting to be thinking about what you were thinking last year in your potential finals matchup that we didn't get with LeBron versus your beloved Cavs in the NBA Finals.
I feel better about the Lakers than I do the Cavs. That's for sure. That's where I'm sitting here on November 19th. But hey,
well,
it's
that's
out
fair.
there. It's up there.
It's possible. It's very possible right now. But if you guys good with the Lakers, anything else on?
Yeah, real quick, because I wasn't here last week. I still hate Nico for this. I hate that I'm watching this as Lakers and not in Dallas. I hate that I see players thriving around Luka. I hate that I see I don't hate it because I love watching Luka thrive, but with the teammates around him, they enjoy playing basketball together. And then you got the Dallas Mavericks who are 4-11 and can't really find anything. And Nico gets fired. Everyone's cheering. Why are we cheering? He ruined this team. Now all the players they wanted to build around, these are the players that they're in trade talks with. You see what came out today? Mavs are looking at options to trade Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. Well, that should have never been a problem to begin with. So, that's my only other thoughts. So, go Lakers. Hope they win. Hope they win the championship. I'm going to be honest with you guys. No. Don't shake your head. Don't say oh no. Don't say oh no.
I kind of add on to your news. Cooper Flag will miss his first game today due to sickness.
Just go. Can we just talk about the East? Can we just talk about the sickness? Whatever. Can we just? Everyone eats too much in Dallas. Everyone's eating too much Dallas barbecue. All right, it's too good of food there. Charles Barkley was right. You can't go to Texas. You're eating too much food. Eating too much food in Texas.
I'm sure we'll somehow get back to this topic because we got to have a slight Anthony Davis discussion later.
No, we don't need them, Dunny. Nobody wants to have a slight day-to-day Davis conversation right now. I'm so tired of day-to-day. He's been day-to-day for 2.5 weeks. Oh, he's questionable tonight. Well, he's not playing. I tell you right now, you could say, oh, Anthony Davis, he's dealing with a little something. He's probable to play. No, he's not playing. He's in street clothes. He'll be in street clothes when the game ends. I'm so tired of it. Can we talk about the East? Because I'm surprised how good the East has been. I'm surprised.
Let's talk about the beefy East, guys.
Let's talk about it.
Jake texted us this morning to let us know that we had 11 teams over 500.
Insane.
In the Eastern Conference, and I will list those for you in order: the Detroit Pistons, the Cavaliers, the Toronto Raptors, the Knicks, the Sixers, the Hawks, the Heat, the Bulls, the Celtics, who they just got here last night, the Magic, and the Bucks. So that is 1 through 11, all over 500. You got a 7-6 team, 3 8-7 team, so some just barely, but over 500 nonetheless. This was a wide open conference, but it's also turning into a crazy competitive, just gut wrenching. I don't even know what you call it. Every week or every night, there's a crazy Eastern Conference matchup, and you don't know who's going to win because for the first 2 weeks of the season, we were talking about how the Chicago Bulls were unstoppable. They're a buzzsaw. Maybe this just works with Giddey. And now they're the 8th seed, and we just have all this parity, all these similarities between these teams. What do we got with the Eastern Conference, guys?
First thing, before we dive into the 9 teams above 500, can we talk about how valuable Tyrese Halliburton is? The Pacers are 1-13.
Yeah.
They're 1. And I know Nembhard was out for a little bit. Naismith was out. They traded Turner. But they're 1-13, guys, without Halliburton. So I don't want to see any Tyrese Halliburton slander next year when he's back. None whatsoever by casual NBA fans. None. None of it. Now.
I keep squinting at the standings, and I'm like, oh, okay, yep. Wizards and Pacers still only one win. All right, come on, guys. Get up.
If we flip it, guys, the Detroit Pistons are 13-2.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons are 13-2. This is a team that last year I was like, wow, kind of Magic Cade run. Didn't really have a great team around him, but they made the playoffs. They're a fun team. And I honestly thought they were going to take a step back a little bit or kind of stay where they are. I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming whatsoever, 13-2. Now, Dunny, I got to give you credit because much like me harping on Denny Advia and everyone finally jumping on when it's a little too late, you've been beating the drum for Jalen Duren for it feels like 2 years now. And now the NBA is like, do you guys see what this guy's doing? He's unbelievable. But that two right there, that little core future of Cade and Duren has made this Pistons team so tough to stop because they're just so athletic and so strong at their respective positions. And you can kind of plug anyone in around these guys, and they're just making it work. 13-2, top of the East. And at this point, I really don't see this team slowing down. Now, obviously, they're not going to sustain a 13-2 pace, but this is a team that has every chance to win the East this year. Cade has been remarkable. Duran's been one of the best bigs in the NBA. Honestly, probably should be the starting center for the Eastern Conference if we got to it right now. But there's one guy I have to talk about real quick before we dive into the Pistons. And this is a guy, his name's Dennis Jenkins. And then no, that's not a made up name. No, that's not a guy that, I'm just making you believe. Dennis Jenkins, technically in his second year, he only played about 5 games last year, has kind of forced his way into the starting lineup. This is a guy that was at Iona, transferred to St. John's with Patina with all that. Dunny, you touched on it before the episode. This guy's 6'4", 165. He's tiny. He's smaller than me. He's lighter than me. He's got a few inches on me, but he's smaller than me. And this guy's been absolutely balling. He's averaging 17, 5, 3 in the month of November on really good shooting splits. And it's just the Pistons are starting to become that team where just plug in a name and you're getting the best out of them. And what is that usually? That usually correlates with great teams, right? Great run organizations, right? We've seen the Warriors do it for years. We've seen the Miami Heat do it for years, right? You got elite coaching. You got great, leadership, great organizations. We're talking about the Detroit Pistons. They've been the opposite of a great run organization pretty much for the past 20 years. They've been the opposite of getting the best out of their players. Are we talking about a whole new look Pistons? I mean, they're getting the best out of everybody. Before he got hurt, Tobias Harris was looking good on this team. When's the last time he's looked good? I'm blown away. I keep thinking they're going to fall off, and they don't.
Yeah, it's weird because the play style is not all that similar, but it reminds me of the Pacers when we first started talking about them a couple of years ago, Steve. And I remember you kind of making the push, being like, I might be early, but this is a young group and they can fight. Kind of similar to the Thunder. The Thunder was a little more in your face because of how good SGA was, but that's kind of what's happening with Cade now. And they're ridiculously young. Like Cade's 24. Yes. Jalen Duren just turned 22 yesterday. Ron Holland's 20. Jaden Ivey's 23. Your guy Jenkins is 24.
Asor Thompson.
Isaiah Stewart, who feels like he's been around forever, is only 24. Yep. Asor Thompson's 22, like you mentioned. Like Paul Reed's 26. He gets a lot of minutes. Like, you got Tobias, of course, who's 33. Javonte Green, great role player, 32. But, I mean, you just have crazy youth on this team, and they're so damn good, man.
They're doing it without Ivy, too.
Yeah.
They're 13-2 without Jaden Ivey.
And they lost their gambling man, Malik Beasley. He was a bucket for this team last year. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good thing in hindsight that they lost him, but it's crazy, man. Jake, where are you at with your Detroit Pistons hatred right now?
It's as high as it's ever. I was at the point where I was hate watching last night, the fourth quarter, just hoping the Hawks would pull it out, and then of course the Pistons just put the clamps on in the last 5 minutes. And the Hawks couldn't do nothing. Here's the thing: is I will still be able to hate all the way through the playoffs because they can win 70 games for all I care. But I've seen JB Bickerstaff in a playoff series, and so until I see him prove that he can evolve from that point, I think they have a ceiling, and I think they're beating up on – we looked at their schedule before last week with Dunny, and I talked about it a little bit. It's not like they have beaten a murderer's row of teams exactly throughout this. They've lost to the Bulls in a tough game. They lost to the Cavs, obviously, and then the last stretch of – and mind you, they had a couple – like beating the Hawks in Atlanta, that's a good win. They beat the Sixers since last time we talked. So they've had – good wins since then. They beat the Sixers a couple times, but we'll see. We'll see if the world catches up to them. But I think they are one of the best. I mean, without a question, they're one of the best teams in this conference, and they're a serious contender now and going forward for everything you guys said with the youth they have. They have a guy who could be an all NBA level player in Cade Cunningham right now. It's everything. You got to feel good if you're. I'm happy for Pistons fans too. Like they had to go through a really it was really bad there. There were some dark years there for the Pistons where they were just the laughing stock of the NBA. So to have them back in this position, it's got to be fun. It's one of the best environments for a basketball game in Detroit at Little Caesars Arena. They are just such hardcore basketball fans. I love watching games there and seeing there. So it'll be fun. Like if all of it means that I get it's a Cavs Pistons like Eastern Conference Finals, that's good for that's gonna be great for the league because that'll just be such an insane heated rivalry and just the way that those two fan bases show out. It'll be an electric atmosphere to watch. So it's good for that more than in general. But I'm just gonna keep the little bit of hope that JB Bickerstaff blows it. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen down the stretch, and it is obviously early, but you must be in such a tough spot too, Jake, because I know how rivalries work. Like you're gonna hate them just to hate them some years, but it's tough because this is such a likable group of players, and then obviously
I like
you have
Cade.
the history with Bickerstaff too.
And I don't even hate Jay. I wish it would have worked out with JB Bickerstaff because he seems like a great guy. He seems like a great guy to play for. The players still love him on the Cavs too. They still talk glowingly about him. So yeah, it is tough in those situations when it's a team you hate, but there's guys that you like. Right. I feel like that's growing up too. If I was in high school watching, it wouldn't matter. You're on the Pistons.
Yeah, you'd be like Duran.
Right? Exactly. So now it's hard with that. But yeah, and you know what? Honestly, the guy who right now third in their without looking, who do you think is third on their team in scoring? It's Cunningham and Duran. Who do you think's third?
Toby.
I think Toby, really?
It's Toby, 13.2 points a game. They're getting the most. When we were talking about the Pistons before the year, I was just ripped. I'm like, man, they got Tobias Harris playing minutes. Let's be real. Come on. They're getting this is what JB does. He does get the most out of these guys during the regular season and gets them to play hard. So shout out to them, man. It's got to be a fun team. They look like they're having fun, which is all you can really ask for with these teams. When we're talking about November basketball, looking for a great team, surprising everybody who looks like they're having fun. That's good for the league all around.
Cade is just putting up prime Chris Paul numbers, averaging 27 points per game and 10 assists with 1.4 steals mixed in there. That's a 6'6" point guard doing that is insane.
Strong too. Strong point guard.
Yeah,
and he's not even shooting well. He's shooting 43% from the field. Once he starts to get more,
I think he's in the 20s from three. Man,
and they don't have Jaden Ivey yet.
Yeah,
who could put up 20 a game? Yeah. Put up 20 a game, and he could be the guy who'd be shooting those big shots at the end. That's just what he was known as in college and then early in the league. It's crazy. But yeah, Dunny. Yeah. I mean, I'll keep giving you props all year, but my God, Jalen Duran is good.
Oh, he's so
my good, God, he is good.
He's just like the quintessential athletic center.
Yeah,
and he's just playing it just 10x right now.
And people are finally starting to catch on. But I think, like I said, I think the reason no one really cared is he just never really scored outside the paint. He didn't really shoot much, and it's it doesn't matter. He does everything else.
Yeah, and I think he's starting to feel that 11-3 confidence that the Pistons all hold.
Yeah.
Or whatever record they're at right now. Yeah,
13-2.
Sorry,
13-2.
But yeah, 13
10 in a row.
11 in a row after last night.
11 in a row. Yeah, 11 in a row. Yeah, you're right.
Longest win streak since 07-08 for the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
Obviously, they're doing something right here, and
that
Pistons,
year.
What's that?
That's the bad boy Pistons, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think. The year before would have been a Cavs Pistons conference finals because this 08 was the Celtics. Who did the Celtics play in in the conference finals, Dunny. They play
Orlando.
Orlando.
07, 08, they played Detroit. No, I think Detroit.
Did they play Detroit in the conference finals? Is that the year? I think it might have been.
Yeah,
because we lost to Orlando the following in 2010. This is bad. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, I was just the year. I was hoping I could get some synchronicity with the Cavs. Cavs.
Yeah,
Pistons
no, it
conference
was
finals,
Celtics.
but I think
Pistons.
it was
Mm-hmm.
But hey,
crazy.
I don't think anybody should be surprised if the Pistons end up in the conference finals this year. Will they make the finals? I don't know, but like
Right.
the way this East looks, the way they look, and like you said, Ivy coming back still too. They play hard. They're great defensively. That's what encourages me the most about them is their defensive upside is so high, and the effort they put in. Like it's going to be hard to put them out in a playoff series, just because it's going to get hard when you get less possessions in the playoffs and everything else. Like they're ready for that. They really are. So
Right now, do we think they're the best team in the East? Or are we? I still really like Cleveland. I know, Jake, you're probably a little more pessimistic on them than I am, but
I just think Cleveland's messing around. Like they took the $100K fine last week with Mobley and Mitchell. They rested them in Miami. Like Garland re-injured his toe, and he's probably not even going to be back till like January. Like I just feel like they don't really care about the regular season. So, which is probably a good thing, honestly, in all things considered. But
I think if someone asked me right now, despite the Pistons being up 3 games, who I think finishes higher in the East, I think I still take Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think I still take Cleveland.
I would answer that question the same way, but I think if someone asked me right now who the best team in the East was right now, I would say the Pistons.
Yeah,
if Brunson was healthy, I might say the Knicks.
I probably did say the Knicks going into the season is who I thought was going to be the best team this year. And I probably would have guessed, a month or so in, whatever we are, that my answer would have been the same. But that brings us to our next thing. We have the Pistons. They're obviously one of these 6 teams. So who are the best 6 teams in the East? Let's pick 5 other teams amongst us right now. I think, to me, Cavs and Knicks both should be in there, right?
Yeah, I think we got to put Cleveland and New York back in there.
Yeah, even without Brunson, you're putting New York.
Yeah, and even tonight, he's a game time decision.
Is he okay? I knew he was coming back somewhat soon. I wasn't sure where it was. That's fine. I think Cleveland's 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if we're putting Pistons 1, I think Cleveland's the clear 2. I think you could argue a few teams for 3 with the Knicks right now. I'm fine putting the Knicks there. But I think Cleveland is. I feel like they're 3.
I'm with that. I think this is where it gets hard. Is 4, 5, 6. I think you could get a lot of different opinions from NBA fans on who should be 4, 5, 6. I think my 4. I think will be the same as your 4, and I think we had them in this spot before the season. I think Atlanta is the 4th best team. Like if I would look going forward. Like if we're talking right now and going forward, I'd probably go with the Hawks.
It's crazy because they're playing so much better with Trae Young out. He's supposed to be out probably at least a month, right? And I like Trae Young. I don't think they're a better team without Trae Young, who I think is one of the best, playmakers in the NBA. Also could get you 30 any night. But man, has that unlocked an even newer game for Jalen Johnson with the offense rolling through him since Trae Young's injury. I mean, the one stat line that was absurd, you guys saw what he did against Utah when they beat Utah by 10?
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, and 7 steals.
Yep.
Almost had a quadruple-double. Flirted with a quadruple-double. His shooting splits have been great. He's pretty much averaging over 25 a game, about like 11 rebounds a game, and almost 8. I think he's like 9 assists per game since Trae Young's injury. He's pretty much averaging almost a 25-point triple-double. The only other guy in the NBA who can even say that is Nikola Jokic. He's okay at basketball. So it's kind of unlocked a new thing in Jalen Johnson, and where I think I agree with you too with the Hawks at 4, and I almost might push them to 3. Sometimes a player like Trae Young, who has such a high usage rate, getting hurt early in the season, as long as he can come back to full health, helps the team in the long run. Because you have other guys step up, right? You have Alexander Walker step up a little bit. Like I said, what Jalen Johnson's doing, stepping up a bit. Dyson Daniels, Onyeka Okongwu. I think he scored over 20 points in his last 4 games, guys. I mean, these are guys who just step up. And then when you get that star back, everything just kind of meshes. I know they started slow. I know the schedule's gotten easier. I don't think it's a direct correlation to an easy schedule, and I don't think it's a direct correlation to Trae Young getting hurt while they're playing good basketball. But we talked about how much we like this team at the start of the year, and it just feels like the pieces are just kind of meshing together. And like I said, if you're going to have a guy miss a decent amount of time, you'd rather have it in November than in March. So Trae Young getting hurt at this time, he might come back, and he might just be like, you know what, like, maybe I shoot a little bit more. Maybe this Jalen Johnson guy kind of knows what he's doing with the offense running through him. So, and it's never a bad thing to have multiple guys you can trust to run your offense. That's also never a bad thing. So I think it's really unlocked something in Jalen Johnson, which you guys know how I've felt about Jalen Johnson since he's been in the league. But it's just giving these other players more confidence, right? You lose a star, you're thinking season might be over. This team won what, like 7 of 8 once Trae Young got hurt? Man, Hawks team, I tell you what, I really like this team. I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean the Hawks are legit. It's weird too because since Trey's been out, all you hear is, and I think it more has to do with the Ja trade rumors because a lot of people have been linking like, oh, why doesn't Atlanta and Memphis just do a 1-for-1 point guard swap where Ja goes to Atlanta and Trey goes to Memphis? But it is kind of weird how the trade talks with Trey have been kicking up just as much as before, even with the Hawks team doing so well. I know he's not playing right now, but I mean, I'm with you, and I think most basketball fans are with you, Steve. I don't think anyone thinks the Hawks are actually a better team without Trae Young.
I would hope not.
But yeah, who knows, right? There's some crazy NBA fans out there. So are we putting them 3 then? So we have Pistons, Cavs, Hawks, and then Knicks?
Yeah, I think you could probably still put the Knicks 3. You know, I'm very bullish on the Hawks. I really like this Hawks team, but I think
I'd love to piss off some Knicks fans. I'm putting them 4.
I'm fine with that.
5 is where I think
I like it just for that energy.
5 is very tough.
5 is where I think it gets tough. Because I'll ask you guys this. I'll pose this question. Do you guys trust Toronto at all? Jake,
No.
You said it before the show started. You were like, who's got the best point differential in the East, right? And we're going through. Toronto's tied for 4th.
But I have to. I'm gonna go and just make. Well, Stevie Boston might have to make an appearance.
Oh boy,
make Dunny happy here. Boston's got the better point differential.
They do.
They won 3 games in a row, and
they're
the thing that Boston has is that the defensive mentality is always going to be there, and I feel like that's going to piss teams off as the year goes on, and as all these teams, flash, like as the Bulls flash, and as the Sixers flash, and maybe even Toronto flashes. Like, what's going to withstand the year and leave these teams up there? And I just feel like the infrastructure and the defensive, mentality and just you want to talk about getting contributions from guys that we weren't expecting to get contributions. Like the Celtics, we talked about bigs being an issue for the Celtics. They basically just solved it. They're like, yeah, we'll figure that out. And then figured it out. Like it's absurd what they're able to do with these guys. And maybe even Anthony Simons, who's been good this year, could be a piece that gets moved on for somebody else and adds to this roster to get more what they need specifically on this team, because he is kind of a luxury I feel like he's not a necessity to this team, and it was like we need an influx of talent and some shot creation, but to kind of build out what they need and get some more size too, like he's an option to move. Like I think they have a couple pieces to get better, and then maybe Jason Tatum's a freak and comes back in February. So the point differentials there, if we're talking about all these teams being even, it's hard to pick against them in one of these 5 or 6 spots.
I can't believe how good Neemias Queta looks. I'll let you victory lap of the Celtics start, Dunny. But that one, everything else going on with the Celtics, I could see it a little bit. I watched this guy. I was like, this guy's gonna be out of the league a couple years.
Yeah.
What's in the water in Boston, Dunny? Ridiculous.
Shit that makes you rebound and play hard, I guess. That's what I did growing up too. So maybe that actually does just happen. But yeah, no, it's been encouraging. It's also crazy, and this is the madness of the East that we're attempting to break down right now, because we have this conversation last week, and I'm not putting the Celtics anywhere near the top 6. They've happened to win their last 3 games. They look a lot better. JB's been the one consistent guy. Like, he is, since the season started to now, he's clearly the one. He's averaging just over 27 a game, I believe. Like, he's doing his part for sure. He's had a 40-point and I think 3 30-point games since the season started. So he's doing his thing. What's turned around in the last week is Pritchard and Derek White are just starting to hit their shots. Like, Pritchard shooting 50% from the field and over 50% from 3 his last 2 games. Derek White's found his stroke. He's starting to play like Derek White again. And then you guys mentioned it, like the bigs are stepping up, and I think guys like Minot and Simons are just they're everyone's just figuring each other out, because I brought up this point a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the C's. Like, it's not just losing Tatum. It's moving on from one of the best two-way guards in the league. It's moving on from a 7-footer who can stretch your whole offense. It's moving on from a power forward who's been in the league for almost 2 decades and won a championship with this team. So I think it's more so just figuring everything out and letting the pieces fall around Jaylen Brown. But the last week or so, they've done that, and the point differential doesn't lie. I probably, if anything, would put them at the 6th best team, but I am happy to slide them in here at 5 if that's what you guys want to do.
Who were you thinking ahead of them? Are you on the Orlando side of, because I know you had high expectations for them coming into the year. Are you on the Philly side of things? Because I feel like all 3 of us can agree we don't trust Toronto. Regardless of how good Scotty Barnes has been playing, I feel like he had his rookie year and then everyone kind of forgot about him. And he's been unbelievable again, especially as a two-way player. We're talking about, Wemby with his stocks. It feels like every game Scotty Barnes has multiple steals and blocks. And he's also been great on the offensive end as well. But there's just something about Toronto, and I don't know what it is. And maybe you guys have the answer that I don't. Because I like Brandon Ingram. I like Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett's look good. They got 3 guys that are pretty much averaging 20 a game. I just don't know if I could trust this Toronto core to just keep it going. It just feels like at some point the wheels are going to fall off for the Raptors for me. And I don't know why that is, personally, because like I said, I like their top 3 guys.
I like all 3 of those guys as well. I think my issue, and I think maybe what a lot of other people see with those 3 guys too, is they're lacking something in their mentality for the game. Because Brandon Ingram, this guy came in and, he got comps being called baby KD. But we know the Brandon Ingram experience. He can put 35 on your head. He can hit all the fadeaways in a game he wants, but when push comes to shove, he's never really had like a it factor moment. RJ Barrett got drafted to the New York Knicks, was Zion's teammate out of Duke, all the hype in the world. I mean, tell me a Knicks moment that you remember super fondly of RJ Barrett. I can't really bring one up for you. And then Scotty, who I think has the most it factor out of the 3 of them. We mentioned it. He came out of college like an animal. I had the Rookie of the Year call. I thought he was going to be insane. And, he hasn't – I wouldn't say he's fallen off. I don't think that's fair. But we haven't heard much about Scotty Barnes in Toronto the last couple of years. I just think I don't think any of these 3 guys – and that can change. But I don't think any of these 3 guys are really like the guy, if that makes sense.
That's fair. I think Scotty Barnes can be. I think that's maybe where we disagree a little bit. I think he's playing really well right now, and people aren't really catching up to it because there's so many other players playing really, really well. This year for the NBA, the stats are outrageous what guys are putting up on a nightly basis, it feels like. But I think the biggest thing for me with the Raptors and the reason I don't trust them is when I really want to trust a team, I really want to trust their primary ball handler, their guard. And the Raptors don't really have consistency with that. Some games it's Scotty, some games RJ Barrett, some games it's Emmanuel Quickley, who probably should be, but Quickley is the most hot and cold, I feel like, guard. It feels like of any of these teams we've talked about in our top East right now. And Jakob Poeltl, I think he's good, but is Jakob Poeltl shutting down any of like the dominant bigs? Like, are you taking Jakob Poeltl against Jalen Duren, Dunny? I don't think you are. You taking Jakob Poeltl against Cat? I don't think I'm taking Jakob Poeltl against Cat. I know with you and Cat. I know with your whole thing and Cat, you would take Zach Collins.
I'd take you.
You did, yeah, exactly. You take me against Cat. He'd have 70 on my head before halftime.
Lock him up.
Oh yeah, I'd lock him up. But that's what I'm saying. Is like with Jakob Poeltl, and I look at the other East teams and their bigs. Like I can't get behind that, and I'm also scared of the Raptors' depth right now. I don't know if you guys know in terms for the Raptors, like who is like leading in minutes after their starting five.
It's
Colin Murray Boyles. Colin Murray Boyles. No disrespect to Colin Murray Boyles out of South Carolina. Good player, super athletic, but that's not who you want. Then you got my guy, Jamal Shead. You guys remember that dude on Houston, the small guard on Houston, absolute dog. I love him, but he's an undersized guard, right? He's 6'1" guard in the NBA. I just look at this team and I can't. There's something holding me back to trust him. It's a really bad bench. Now, you got a couple college basketball legends, Mukula Chevy from Seton Hall, Jamal Shead from Houston, like two guys I love, but I think that's what's holding me back the most now that I'm looking at it. I feel like they're one injury away from a disaster of losing 8 of their next 10.
Well, the other team that I wanted to put in here really was Milwaukee. But
Giannis
clearly exactly. Giannis is hurt, and they're clearly, if there's a Giannis injury at any point during the season,
lottery
they're
team
screwed. So that's why I didn't have them in here. Toronto, I was thinking about it, but I agree with you. I think the bench is a little worrisome. So that means we're down to Chicago. I don't think we want to skip up JBC.
Let me say it, Steve.
Can we talk about?
I know who it's going to be.
Can we talk about Philly?
Oh, yeah, that's not where I was going. It's my other enemy.
I was with Steve. Who's your
Miami Heat? It's the Miami Heat, man.
All right, go ahead.
They're doing this without Hero. They're somehow doing this without Hero after I shit on Bam and said that I would take Duren over him, which I would still do. But like you're getting these crazy performances from Jaquez. Bam hasn't been horrible. He's been Bam. And like they're just staying afloat and they're beating teams and they have I don't know if they're still keeping up with it, but like they're one of the better scoring teams in the NBA for the first couple weeks. Khalil Ware gets better every single game. Like maybe it's the Heat and Hero comes back and they're not scary again, but like they could be pretty damn good and we're overlooking it.
Can I just say my Philly piece? Because I don't care if the Heat have Hero or don't have Hero. If Hero comes back, Hero's not putting up what Maxi's doing right now. No. Is Tyrese Maxey? How is no one just talking about what this guy's doing? He's averaging almost 33 points a game, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. He's carrying this Philly team, but I see carrying very lightly because Quentin Grimes has been great. By the way, shout out Nico Harrison again. Cody Martin for Quentin Grimes is so good. He's so underrated, man. He's so good. He's a bucket. He can play defense. I love Quentin Grimes. I don't understand how you – I'm not going to get mad about that, but he's playing great. Kelly Oubre's playing great. VJ Edgecombe, I know he's came down back to earth a little bit, but he's a rookie. You know he'd have his ups and downs, but all three of us love VJ Edgecombe, and he hasn't shied away from the moment. He's playing great, and the reason I say Philly, and I don't care if you guys are going to disagree with me or not, but right now we're getting the worst Embiid we've seen, and they're still good. Paul George just came back.
He just came back.
Anything else we get from Embiid, right, is better. Like, if this is like peak Embiid, then fine. This Philly team's still good. This Philly team's still like has some of the best guard depth in all of the NBA. They just got Paul George back. You know what? When Embiid's out, they'll just throw big body Andre Drummond in there. They get 10 points and 18 rebounds. I don't want to say they don't need Embiid, because obviously when Embiid's going, it's a good player to have. But Tyrese Maxey's been one of the best players of the NBA.
Yeah,
One of the best players of the NBA.
Currently second in the league in scoring right now. I'm pretty sure. So
there's not one player on the Miami Heat you'd want over Tyrese Maxey right now. No shot.
No, that's fair. It's probably the Sixers are probably the answer. So
I think Dunny just sees the Heat in his nightmares. Like he wakes up in sweat seeing like Tyler Hero with like 33 points in a playoff game or something this year, and he'd be just a 4-5 Heat Celtics matchup would be like just the worst case scenario for
I see the Heat with a winning record, and I just picture Spo with his arms crossed on the sideline. And I'm like, oh shit, it's time for work.
I would take Philly over the Heat, though. I would. I think just talent.
Steve.
I think they have more talent.
No, I think you guys are right. It's crazy because this is why we're doing this exercise, I guess, because I do think that Orlando still should get some sort of nod in this conversation.
They're starting to play better. They're starting to fight it. Desmond Bane had a really bad start with the Magic. God.
Yeah,
he bad.
He had a monster night the other night.
He's starting to come around. Jalen Suggs is finally getting healthy. He's not playing his 18 minutes a night. Well, at that point, if you're going to limit a guy like that, just let him sit until he's fully healthy.
Yeah,
he's starting to get fully healthy.
Go ahead, Dunny.
They're coming around.
No, I was just gonna say, it's weird when you're eliminating a guy who relies on his physicality and defense to play under 20 minutes a game.
Exactly, makes no sense.
And with Bane, I feel like it was a lot of pressure, from himself to start put on himself, right? Like the way he was talking in the offseason and everything like that, like talking about being like a missing piece and all this stuff, like, and he's a shooter.
Well, and what he got traded for, right?
So much.
First,
right?
Exactly,
yeah. Like I think he put a lot of pressure on himself to be that guy right away, and he's a guy who's more streaky. Like he's had these stretches in Memphis too, where he was like having a real rough go of games. It sucks that it starts your tenure with a new team, but it's not who he is. We know that. So
and who he's playing around too, right? Like going from explosive like 6-foot point guard to playing with two ball dominant forwards who can score from anywhere, and Franz and Paulo.
Trying to figure out where to play with them.
Right. I'm sure that was
Makes
part
sense.
of it. But yeah, it was an interesting exercise for the reason. I think I'm still taking all the teams we said. I'm flipping Philly and the Celtics because I think they should be ahead of us right now. They've beat us twice. We beat them once. I think that's fair. So we have Pistons, Cavs, Hawks, Knicks, Sixers, Celtics. Which isn't crazy from like what we came in with for our top 6.
I think that's fair. I think the Milwaukee thing's the most disappointing, but if Giannis is going to be missing 1 to 2 weeks at a time, and this is me speaking as a Giannis fantasy owner too, who's really pissed off about this injury and him going out too, because I also feel I have a theory, conspiracy theory, that has Siri opened up because I said theory too many times, that these groin strains and maybe even the calf strains, I know we should be serious about the calf strains and everything, but the 1 to 2 week injury, I think it's, how can you prove they don't have a groin strain?
Right.
You know what I mean? You just tell Giannis to sit out, to come out of the game in the first quarter, and you're going to take 2 weeks off, buddy. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if they even LeBron's sciatica. I'm like, like Bron, could you have played through the sciatica
just
and wanted
standing in front of Giannis, being like, "You can't look at my brother's groin. Get out of
here."
Yeah,
exactly. Don't look at his groin. No groin sneaks here. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure Giannis wants to be out there. I'm sure Wemby wants to be out there. But if there's a way to get around this rest thing and not get fined $100,000 like the Cavs did, this is how you do it. So.
Yeah, I don't know if the Spurs would stack Wemby with Castle though. If one,
and
that's true,
and Harper.
I don't know if they do the triple stack.
And yet they last night.
Wait, we can lie about injuries. Watch this.
And that's a team. If I could have talked about the Spurs this whole podcast, honestly, because I watched a lot of that game last night. It was a national game on Peacock, and it doesn't matter like who's down. Like Vassell and Fox step up. They play great.
Yeah.
Like
they're fun
it's
team.
a tie game late, and they just put the clamps on and go. And they're -5.5 going into this game. It's a tie game with like under 2 minutes, and they end up winning by 11. I'm sure there were a lot of Spurs bettors out there like really happy, but they just.
Were you one of them?
So sound, so strong. I didn't. I thought about it.
The way you worded it sounded like
because I really
oh.
looked at it for last night with my locks. I was like, "Ooh, do I want to do the Spurs?" But hey, man, they're gonna keep it rolling. But
hopefully Wemby's still eligible for MVP. Like getting an injury.
Dunny, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. But it's Jokic. What he's doing this year, it doesn't make sense.
You want to know how I know that, Steve? Is because every morning when I'm looking for the happy hour hooper, I'm like, I could just make
Jokic over there. Oh, yeah. So he had a game. I can't remember what his final stat line was. I want to say it was like 28. Like 12 and 11.
Lost to the Bulls.
It was like 28, 12 and 11, and they're like all his season averages went down. I was like, shouldn't you shouldn't have a near 30-point triple double and have your season averages all go down.
He still had like 36, 14, and 12 or something against the Bulls, and they just
Did you see the Clippers? The Clippers game, he had 50 through 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on a lot of shots, man. Like, it's insane what he's doing. He could score, and I know you can say this about a lot of superstars, but I truly believe if Jokic wanted to, he could score 50 every night.
Oh,
How efficient he is, and it's how easy it is for him. I'm getting to the point now where he's open on the arc. I'm like, that's in. It's getting to the point like with Curry, where Curry's open on a 3. I'm just like, there's 3 points. That's how it is with Jokic. Like, I just don't remember, like, even when he has a bad shooting night, it doesn't matter because the dude has 16 assists.
Yeah, that's the part I was going to mention. Like, if you're ever bored or don't really understand how a guy like Jokic gets to 16 assists, either watch a full game highlights and see some of the passes or just type in to YouTube Nikola Jokic best passes of all time. Because it will be an exhilarating half hour for you if you do that. But we kind of brought it up a little bit right there. Let's do these injuries. Let's quick hit these injuries before we do Jake's blind resume at the end of the show. He's got one for us this week. So we mentioned it. Giannis 1 to 2 weeks with the groin strain. Stephon Castle left hip flexor strain 1 to 2 weeks. Derek Jones Jr. This happened against the Celtics. Sucked to see. I like Derek Jones Jr. a lot.
Me too.
MCL sprain, at least 6 weeks. Wemby calf strain, a few weeks is the report. John Morant, another calf strain, 2 weeks. Kawhi ruled out again, and Clippers really kind of like refused to comment on his injuries lately, so we don't really have a timetable for a return for Kawhi.
No,
he's been the man of mystery. He's been the man of mystery this year. No one knows what's going on with Kawhi. Nobody knows what's going on with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, to cover up a pretty juicy scandal, I guess you got to be even more quiet than Kawhi already was. So I don't know if we're getting much out of Kawhi this year. I don't know if we'll see Kawhi this year.
Did you see Vince Staples talking about the Kawhi thing? Because Vince Staples,
I don't think
big
I
LA
did.
guy, Clippers guy, he was like, why didn't he just plant a couple trees? He's like, bro, if he just planted like 2 trees every month, like no one would have thought anything of it. They would be like, oh, there's Kawhi out here planting.
Just doing his tree.
Like, he just needed to do it. It just really, everybody would have been off his case.
He couldn't have been bothered to do that. You know that.
Do it. Just like, it's not hard. You go buy a tree. You just get somebody else to dig it up. You just plop it in there. Call it a day. That's all I need to do. He's like, all he had to do is plant 2 or 3 trees every couple weeks. He'd be fine. But here we are.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. And the Clippers are already down Bradley Beal, which, I mean,
I
don't know how much of a loss that is at this point, but obviously,
tough for Beal. Like
yeah, he
what
waived
else
his
can he
no
do?
trade clause to go
Yeah.
here, and they're not going to have him. No return for Kawhi in sight. Like I mentioned, Derek Jones Jr. So tough stretch here for the Clippers, and then Anthony Davis.
Oh,
I know
day-to-day
Steve.
Davis.
Day-to-day Davis. We got to talk about him, and the only reason being is because all I've heard the last couple weeks is, the Mavs, they're focusing on Cooper Flag and the future. They're going to look for Davis trades, and then they're going to look for Davis and Kawhi trades. But then Mark Cuban came out today and said, I don't see the Mavericks making any big moves. We're trying to win now still. A bunch of like coach speak, if you will. I know he's not a coach, but
Yeah.
weird stuff. Like I don't know. I was just starting to believe the Dallas trading Davis thing because I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. They kind of suck right now. They got a bunch of injuries. It's going to be a tough season. Clay kind of sucks. Like, what do they do? So I was starting to buy in. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Trade Anthony Davis. But then Mark Cuban comes out today and says, nope, they're not planning on doing that. So where are you guys at with the Mavs right now and the possibility of trading Anthony Davis?
It's so tough to judge this Mavs team with no Kyrie because you really don't know how this team would mesh together when Kyrie's healthy. And day-to-day Davis, man, I mean, he's just been questionable for the past 2 weeks and then just scratched, a couple hours before the lineup, out. And that's how it's been. I don't know. I personally, I would like to see Anthony Davis play a little bit of basketball before they completely give up on this franchise-changing trade that Nico made in the middle of the night, and I will never forgive him for it. And I feel like they made a huge mistake, and now they're just like they're trying to almost sweep it under the rug by getting rid of all the pieces that were part of that mistake. Obviously, Nico's the first domino to fall, right? Because he's the one who kind of orchestrated the whole deal. But now I think they're just going to be like, all right, like we screwed up, let's just blow it all up. It's tough because you're trading Davis at his lowest value at this point. You're not going to get nearly what
You don't want Kobe White
what the Lakers got. I do like Kobe White. I love Kobe White, but Vucevic doesn't fit the timeline of the Mavs. And I don't really think our big man depth is the biggest issue. I think when Lively and Gafford are healthy, I still like that rotation. Obviously, you guys know I love PJ Washington. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's just a guy to have. And Najee Marshall's been playing well off the bench, but it's tough because I feel like you're trading Davis at his lowest value. It's almost like they're trying to wait for him to play to see if he can still play to trade him, but they're also not rushing him back because I think they're worried he's just going to get hurt again. And it's just been, like I said, he's been questionable for the past 2 weeks, the day of the game, day-to-day Davis, and then he's confirmed out. So I don't know. I hate that, they made a huge mistake. I think they're recognizing it with the whole Luka trade. And now they're just trying to, I guess, salvage what they can. But at the end of the day, is it even smart to try to trade this guy at this point? Because what are you going to get? You're getting pennies on the dollar for Davis at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. It's weird, too, because, obviously, if you're thinking of the brain of Nico, you would have thought maybe when he got that first overall pick, he would have traded Davis right there, and just thought immediately future once you were getting Cooper Flag. But obviously Nico gone now, and I think that's part of the reason why we're just kind of getting a lot of rumors about them blowing it up. Obviously, it has to do with their record, but I think not knowing what was going to happen with Nico and then having all this stuff come out about Davis and then the Nico firing happen, I think it's just all Mavs rumors all the time right now for everyone. It's like, let's just say as much shit about this team as we possibly can. I think there's a little bit of that going on because then I also saw a report today that Kyrie Irving's been practicing and he looks good and he's on track, but we don't know how soon. There's no timetable on Kyrie basically either. So, lot of weirdness. I would, if I had to place a bet, I think that I would bet that Davis gets traded at or before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I'd say they'd probably blow it up. Sorry,
I
Steve.
think they should. No, I think they should blow it up. I mean, you guys think I just apologize to me. This team's been driving me nuts ever since they stabbed Luka in the back at midnight. They deserve.
Selfishly, I would love Anthony Davis to go to the Bulls. He's a Chicago guy in the first place. Like the Bulls.
I just don't know if the Bulls. Like, what are the Bulls going to send back?
I like Kobe. Kobe,
I like him.
And a lot of their picks. I mean,
sure, fine, have him.
That's pretty much.
Give me a bunch of picks and Kobe, fine.
Because you're not getting Giddey, you're not getting Gisele, obviously.
No, we're not getting either of those. I don't want Vucevic. I mean, it just doesn't fit. He's a good player. I'm not going to hate on Vucevic, but
yeah, Vucevic would have been on the timeline for Nico to get last summer.
Dunny, you know what? No, that was an unnecessary shot. That was crazy. That was a crazy unnecessary shot.
It was more at Nico than you, but yes, it was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
All right, Jake, hit us with something that is necessary right now. Hit us with that blind resume to end the show.
Blind resume. Here we go. Player A. 19.4 points a game, 7.7 rebounds, 5.3 assists, shooting 50% from the field. All right. Player B, 18.8 points a game, 8.8 rebounds a game, 4.3 assists, 46% from the field. So pretty similar. Couple differences here or there. One rebound, one assist either way. One shooting a little better and scoring a little better. What do you guys think?
I know who player B is. I can tell you right now, Dunny. I am 100% confident I know who player B is. I'm about 90% on player A.
That's crazy how good you are at these, because I am lost right now.
Oh, okay.
Player B. I'm willing to put everything on the line that I know who player B is, but I want Dunny to guess first.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. What conference do you think the person's in?
I know what conference it is. It's in the Eastern Conference.
Both players are in the Eastern Conference.
I know. Both players are in the same draft class too, aren't they, Jake?
Ah, he's too good.
Oh,
he's too good.
Steve, what the hell?
He's too good.
All right, I'll just throw out a crazy guess for B because for some reason this is the only thing that came to mind. Is B Franz Wagner?
It's not. No.
So player B, Jake, is Evan Mobley.
Player B is Evan Mobley.
Player B is Evan Mobley. He's averaging 18.8 and he's shooting under 50%. And the reason I know that, I saw someone complaining on Twitter earlier this morning about Mobley. And then I remember Jake and I talked about this, that we were like, Mobley's got to stop shooting threes. Like the type of player he is, why is he shooting so, inefficiently? And that's where you see, you don't expect a big to be under 50%. He's at 46%. So player B is Evan Mobley. That one, like I said, I knew that one because he's also been all right this year. He's been passing the ball a little bit for a nice big. He's still gobbling up some boards. He's scoring, but the efficiency shooting is what made it obvious. Now, player A, Jake, I'm pretty sure, and this is the one that I was kind of thrown off by because I thought he was averaging more points. He must have had a couple games where he went down a little bit. I'm almost positive player A is Scotty Barnes.
Yep. Player A is Scotty Barnes. And what I was figured and I thought you might be able to get those two, but I thought it would trip you up with Scotty Barnes at 50% from the field and Evan Mobley at 46, which should not be like you would think those things specifically would be flipped, even though the rebounds are a little bit off there. All right, but I have a bonus player C.
Ooh, I like bonus.
How about that? Yeah, this is bonus player C. 19.7 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists per game, 46% of the field. So similar to both these guys, highly touted players here. Obviously, Mobley and Barnes, third and fourth.
Are you sticking with the same draft class in this one? Is that
I honestly don't know what year this guy was drafted.
Can I pat myself on the back? Franz was from this draft class also.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
I'll check to see what draft class it was in.
What is it, 19.7 and 4?
Yes.
19-7 and
19-7-3, and then also 46% from the field.
46% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's scoring that much. I had a name.
And he was the same draft class.
He was the same draft class.
Whoa! What the? What?
So
Which
we're
I
all
didn't even realize
all
until I.
we're all diving into the same draft class here.
I have a
I
guess.
forget who's from that draft class.
Oh no, the assist would be way higher.
Who was your guess?
Giddy was my guess, but I think
No, his assists. Yeah, his assists would be way higher. I'm trying to think who was in that draft class.
I have one. I was actually going to guess this guy's teammate, but I think I have it. Is it Jonathan Kuminga?
It's not Kuminga.
No, he's not scoring that much. That was stupid guess.
Was it 19-7-4?
Yep.
Yeah.
3.
Is it
19-7-3?
Is it Shaden Sharp?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of that draft class.
Oh.
19-7-4.
With Jalen Green?
Nope.
No, too many rebounds for Green, right?
And
Too many
he's
too many
hurt right
rebounds for Green. 19-7-4. No, not enough assists. I'm trying to think of the draft class now.
I should have just
Who are we-
put player C in here instead.
Mm-hmm. Who are we blanking on for
Is
draft
Steve
class?
going to be mad that he doesn't get it?
Yes, he's gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be mad.
I know who it is now. I know who it is. I was just trying to
19-7-4.
I was just trying to go through the draft class in my head.
I'm trying to go through the draft class too. I don't know how I'm blanking on this.
That's why I had him here.
That's why I was
thought-
giving bad guesses because I was thinking at the top, but you got to think further down.
It's further down. Are we thinking like second round?
I don't think
I
he was
don't
second.
I don't
think
know.
he was
I don't know
first.
where he was drafted.
19-7.
He was
Guys,
middle first round.
Middle first round. And it's probably one of my guys, I'm guessing, if I'm going to be upset.
It's definitely
one of your
it's one of your guys.
19-7-4. I don't think. Is it Jalen Johnson?
No.
Nope.
No. I was going to say he's averaging better than that.
He's on a bum team.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would make
He's
sense that
on
you're
a
not keeping
bad
up with
Oh!
this year.
Is it Trey Murphy?
Yeah.
It's Trey Murphy. 7 boards. Good for Trey. Good for Trey. He's got 7 boards.
He has the same almost identical stat line to Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes. That was why
That's
players he
crazy.
had to be mentioned because that's nuts. You would not.
I would've-
Someone would have told you that coming into the year. Maybe you would have been on that, Steve. But to be the same as those guys, I think is disappointing to those.
The
two.
boards threw me off. I don't think of him as a guy who gets a lot of rebounds. But then again, I mean, who's getting rebounds
Who's
on this
getting the boards?
Pelicans team? Damn, season at 7 boards. Good for you, Trey.
They are, yeah, he's right there. They're honestly right all next to each other. I think RJ Barrett might be right underneath Scotty there at like 19.1, but they're all right next to each other in points per game. Which when I wasn't trying to do that when I was looking today, like to try to figure out a couple guys, but I was like, oh, these are having Barnes and Mobley is too good. And then I realized Trey Murphy was there too. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna look at all 3 and we'll just go from there.
Wow.
Sneaky good draft class.
I was just gonna say, I just looked it up.
Sneaky good draft class.
Yeah.
I mean, Cade, Jalen Green, Mobley, Scotty, like those guys we know.
Giddy's in that
obviously.
class.
Giddy,
You mentioned
Kuminga,
Wagner.
Franz.
Sengun is in that class too, right?
Sengun's
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Trey Mann, Trey
Jalen
Murphy,
Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Quentin Grimes. Cam
Quentin
Thomas.
Grimes.
Love Quentin
Santi
Grimes.
Aldama.
Yeah, sneaky good
Herb
draft
Jones.
class.
Io.
Oh yeah, Herb's in there too.
Wow.
Maybe DeSumo in that Bulls package coming back. Give me a little DeSumo, little Kobe
I don't
White.
know. Was
I
in
don't know
this
if the
draft,
Bulls
maybe.
first.
I don't know if the Bulls will ever trade.
Probably not.
Like he's just like they love him so much. He's just. I mean, he's just their son. Like Illinois, Chicago kid, went to Illinois. Like
Both the
lot of
Celtics bigs in
Lakers
that
out
draft
there.
class too, Dunny.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I just saw a kid. You guys want to know something disgusting?
What?
Aaron Wiggins was taken 55 by OKC in this draft.
That you know what? I want to say everyone is like, how do the Thunder like have this many picks, this team or whatever, they did the perfect rebuild.
They
It's
have the
one
best
thing,
basketball minds in their fucking front office.
It's one thing to accumulate the picks, but to hit home runs on every single pick.
Second rounders.
I mean, AJ Mitchell this year, guys. Dude's averaging nearly 20 a game. They don't have Jalen Williams. He's like, I'll just step up. I'll be the second scorer. Man, no problem. Easy peasy. I mean, Wallace, Isaiah Joe comes in, and it's like he doesn't skip a beat. We give the Thunder a ton of credit, right, for their core three, which we should. Jalen Williams, Shea. You give them a ton of credit for the deals they made to accumulate the picks. But to get those players at the picks they do, unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good that front office is at just scouting talent. Because you know what's going to happen when their contracts, expire. They're just going to be like, we'll just draft 3 new ones with our 3 first-round picks we got next year. And they'll all work.
And Bill Simmons keeps bringing it up, too, now that they own the Clippers' unprotected first-round pick this year.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's disgusting, dude. I think
dude, they're going to get one of those college demons.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, they had, if the NBA season were to stop, whatever day it was Sunday last week, they would have had 4 first-round picks this upcoming year. Wow. I don't think it's going to shake out that way because there's a lot of protected ones.
Yeah. That's why we just have to have fun talking about every other team in the league, because once it gets to playoff time, the Thunder are going to go 4-4, 5-5 and win the title in the most boring fashion. We're just like, well,
the only team I think that could give them a series is the Nuggets. I won't count out this Denver
Nuggets. You don't think the
Nuggets.
Spurs, if they're healthy, that they could give them a series, like get to 6? I think Wemby hating Chet gets them 1 win.
Yeah, I do love that wrinkle.
I was gonna say though, I feel like Chet might be Wemby's kryptonite in the playoffs. I feel like they might have the guy that, and Chet, I feel like, is that type of player too, that kind of rises when he needs to.
Will have to be.
Do you also know that Spurs fans have already basically turned on De'Aaron Fox? That's a subplot we have to watch. Because the other night when they were playing, when they had their game together, he took the last shot in that game, and then they're like, why are we not just giving the ball to the 7-9 freak at the last?
Or Stephon Castle.
Or Castle. So that's just a subplot to see. Spurs fans were already like, I saw people being like, send Fox to Guantanamo. Like, I'm done with him. Like, bro, he's played like 4 games with you guys. Like, what do you mean?
I hate ungrateful fans, man. Spurs, yeah, I know. I was like, you know what, Fox? Like, fine by me. Send him over.
Garland for Fox right now. I'd do it in a half.
Yeah, I don't think that's a crazy take at all. Yeah.
Wow. What a
as my Cavs are getting boat raced right now by the Rockets. So yeah, I know. Thanks, guys.
I was
really happy that Trey Murphy was right there.
I knew the Mobley one.
Steve Mobley before we even got on the show. I was like, I got a good buy. He's like, I know who player B is no matter what. I was like, fuck, he definitely.
You know how I figured out it was Scotty is when we were talking about the Raptors. I was like, I wondered what their leading scorers are, because I feel like the Raptors is just a big 3. And I saw Scotty was under 20. And in my head, Jake, the reason I said I wasn't 100% sure on player A, I felt like Scotty was averaging close to like 24 a game this year. And I feel like he did have his big scoring games earlier in the year. He might have had a couple, in the teens that lowered it down. But I did not think Scotty was under 20. Now, Scotty's still having a phenomenal season. I feel like people just aren't talking about it enough, because I feel like everyone just kind of forgot about him after his rookie year. But I didn't think he was under 20. That's what threw me off.
The weird thing with their team is that it's Ingram at like just over 20, Scotty's at like 19, and RJ's at like 19. Like, they got 3 guys scoring 60 points a game.
Right around 20, all 3. I feel like you gotta have a guy step up at some point to be like your true one.
I don't know if those 3 guys have figured out, like, between
exactly
who they wanted
that be. That was my argument against.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes a 1A, 1B works, but you really kind of need a 1-2 if you want it to work.
And if we're talking like last shot, like who needs the ball, like it probably has to be Ingram.
Ingram.
But the org probably wants it to be Scotty. And RJ Barrett is like, it's RJ
And,
Barrett.
and Emmanuel quickly wants it to be Emmanuel quickly.
Yeah.
so you got an issue there too. You got 4 guys now in the
It's
mix.
like, wait, I'm making a shit ton of money too. Give me that.
Yeah.
They're all on crazy contracts too. That's the other thing that's wild about
Oh
it.
no. But hey, they're 9-5, so whatever.
No, I mean, for a team that's doing as good as they are in the Eastern Conference, and for a show where one of our segments was breaking down the top 6 teams, we're pretty disrespectful to Toronto.
Very. We did put them in the top 6. We've only said negative things about it.
I'm willing to be
Scotty a little bit, but
yeah, I'm willing to be very honest about that. We were definitely unfair to the Toronto Raptors today, but we'll see. If next week they're still here, maybe we'll just give a whole flowers section to the Toronto Raptors.
Jake, real quick, I'm curious. I'm looking this up now because I don't know. Who do you think between Mobley and Scotty averages more stocks this year? Because I thought Scotty's defense was crazy, and that's why I think he stood out to me when I looked at him earlier this year. So Scotty's averaging 1.3 steals, 1.7 blocks. So
I think Scotty probably has it.
Restocks a game, and Mobley
2.5.
Yeah, 2.6.
Yeah.
So Scotty's averaging more steals, blocks too. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And that is if you're the Cavs, that's unacceptable. Like, Evan Mobley needs to be 20 points. He needs to be at 50% from the field, and he needs to be at 3 stocks a game. Like, that is where he should be, and he's just not.
Yeah, Scotty's had a steal and a block, at least one of each, in his last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games.
Oh.
That's crazy, man. 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 and 1, 1 and 5, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 1 and 2, 4 and 2, 1 and 5, 1 and 1. Thank God. 5. He's got multiple games with 5 blocks.
Yeah, man.
No one's talking about Scotty Barnes. And I was right. His last 5 games, or 6 games,
now,
5 have been under 20. So there's why the season average dipped.
Right now they're up 5 in Philly, and he's got 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 13 minutes. No stocks.
And no one's talking about him. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like we forgot about him after his rookie year.
Last year was a mess, but it was It was just a mess for them all. So
he was also hurt for a little bit last year too, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Scotty is. You know what? That's my giving flowers right there. We hated the Raptors. There you go, Scotty. Have some flowers.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes.
There we
go.
Yeah, here's your bouquet after we dumped on the Raptors with the Eastern, recap. But hey, you're playing well. We don't trust you at all or your team, but hey, you're playing well.
It's going to be brutal next week when they haven't lost a game.
Yeah, the Raptors are going to be tied with the Pistons somehow.
Yep.
All right, well that
they do, guys. They do play before next game. They play the Cavs on Monday, but they play tonight. They play the Sixers, then they play the Wizards and the Nets. So they really could be 12-6 by the time.
Very well.
We might have to remove this show from the airwaves.
They win tonight. People are gonna be talking about the Pistons.
Are they home or are they in Philly tonight?
They're in Philly right now.
That'd be a huge win for Toronto.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone listening, that's what you got to go do right now. Go tune into a Toronto Raptors game. Give them the respect that we couldn't this episode. And that's going to do it for another episode of Happy Hour Hoops. LeBron's back. The Eastern Conference is crazy. Great blind resume from Jake. A lot of injuries. So make sure you're following us at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials. Shout out to Trainwreck Sports. Follow them, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next week.